Hello, this is DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage's on PSN, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, I did save. I wasn't sure. I'm alright. It has officially begun, folks. It has started raining for our monsoon season. It started yesterday on Saturday, and night 4, oh boy. And, yeah. It's been raining on and off intermittently, sometimes a lot, sometimes not. Hasn't done the thunderstorms like they mentioned. Like sometimes they mention it. It's like I've mentioned before, it's so weird. Korea fascinates me when it comes to rain because a lot of times when it rains, it's just heavy rain. Like a certain game that I have yet to finish on my own on my PS3. Although I think it was re-released on PS4. But yeah, I think it was with Two Souls, right? Wasn't that a combo? At one point. But yeah, it rarely thunderstorms, and then it does, it's like a lot. Or loud. Well, I mean, thunderstorms are loud, but anyway. But yeah, so, yeah, so it's been rain. I just realized I left my window open. I cracked it open this morning to get some airflow through, even though it's humid. And I just realized I left the window open. I left it open all day. That's not good, because the AC's on. So did I turn this off? Because I left that on all overnight. My little vent thing for the Nintendo Switch that I bought at some point. Hooks on the back of the Nintendo Switch thing and uses the USB, one of the USB plugins. Alright. Like I said, I don't remember if you can have 3 people or only 2. So the 2 people we are definitely going to get are, well, hopefully, unless I screw up in choices. I think you can screw up choices. I don't remember. But Agathon and Sophie, Hope, not Sophie. Sophie's my patron, Hope. Actually, I think you can screw up, but we're gonna try not to. All right, here we go. Boop. You arrive at the address given to you by Sophie, a small bookstore smack dab in the middle of Broadway, of all places. What really catches you off guard, though, is the store's display. From what you've heard about the Tremere, they are infamous for their ties to the occult and the mystical. And yet now, looking at the oddball collection of items in the display window, it all feels borderline satirical. The books here cover everything from, oh boy, Ayurvedic practices. I don't know what, you know what, my phone is near me. We're gonna get some education, folks. I wonder if I actually looked this up the last time. When I was playing this on my own. I don't know. Ayurvedic. Ayurveda is an alternative medicine system with historical roots in the Indian subcontinent. It is heavily practiced in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And then the cut-off description. Okay. Treatment options are varied and can include yoga, acupuncture, herbal medicine. I almost said herbal. Gosh. Massage therapy and dietary changes. Cases of lead poisoning as a result of taking Ayurvedic treatments imported from India have been reported in Victoria. What the fudge? This is something from Australia. Interesting. Okay. So, Indian-rooted practices of things. So kind of like the Oriental medicine treatment or Chinese medicine or whatever, different Asian practices. I mean, still Asian practices. Let me rephrase that. India is in Asia. Okay. Anywho. So Ayurvedic practices and homeopathy to wellness and self-motivation. I like the music. The vaguely amusing juxtapositions don't end there either. You notice a copy of Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible tucked behind a cheap smiling Buddha. What the fuck? Okay. A scientific journal on hematology sits next to a teen-oriented pamphlet on the blood type personality theory. A number of religious and quasi-religious symbols, lockets, pins, and various emblazoned paraphernalia are haphazardly strewn across the display and between the tomes. Before you even open the door, you can smell the burning incense and hear the corny Far East-tinged music seeping through the crackling speaker mounted above the entrance. It's much more quaint than what you expected from what Sophie told you about the so-called warlocks. It doesn't look like they have much interest in impressing outsiders. Well, why? It's just for what people want. It's for selling, it's for making money. I mean, they have to make a living somehow. Then again, if there's anything you've learned these past few nights, it's appearances can be deceiving. Yeah, you're not going to have all the actual shit out in the open. Come on now. Jesus. That's the buzz of the... New York City, gross. At this time of night, the shop appears to be closed. Regardless, you ring the bell. You hear someone shuffling around inside. Oops, sorry. That might have been the shuffle sound. A brief moment later, the latch slides and the door is pushed open just a few inches. A tired-looking blonde in loose clothes appears in the crack. She seems confused, like you just woke her up. She lets out a yawn, scratching at her tattooed neck. Finally, she squints in your direction, or your general direction. Her pierced lip curves into an awkward smile. Thing on vampires. Is that, I'm looking for a guy named Agathon. Is he around? The girl gives you a suspicious look over, but opens the door. She takes a few steps back, and you hear footsteps coming from behind a floral curtain that covers the back door. Why can't I read that word? A bespectacled, smart-looking woman emerges and looks straight at you. Come in and follow me. Just don't touch anything, please. You follow her through the store. You follow her through the store. Inside, as expected, the stuffy air smells of sandalwood, frankincense, and a dozen other aromas. I love sandalwood. Sandalwood is so good. And frankincense is nice. I like sandalwood. The woman leads you behind the curtain and through the back door onto a rickety staircase. A flight of steps takes you up to the second story. You instantly notice the change in decor as the tacky New Age bookstore gives way to something resembling a cross between a library and a workshop. The smell here is strong too, but much more layered. You're not sure what to make of it at first, but with each whiff, it becomes apparent. Blood. The aroma, though subtle at first, soon becomes overpowering. It takes you a moment to adapt and focus. Yeah, it's Sturbridge. Yeah. I don't think you know who you're speaking with, so an introduction is in order. My name is Aisling Sturbridge, and I am the High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs. Alright, some words. Chantry. A traditional name for the Tremere headquarters in a city, usually part shelter, part library, and part laboratory. Not to be confused with the even religious group in... or maybe that's just my opinion because I'm usually an elf or a mage in Dragon Age Inquisition series. Yeah. Well, I say Dragon Age Inquisition, Dragon Age series. Let me rephrase that. So Inquisition is one of the games. was Origins and 2 and whatever the fourth one is going to be again. I forgot the name of it. Or, I mean, technically it's still just a working title because they're working on the game and it hasn't been published yet. I think that might be the next one because they finished doing that the Space Age game, although I thought there might have been another game after the Space Age game or whatever before. They work on Dragon Age, whatever. Dread God, Dread Howl, whatever, because it's named after the elven god. Regent. Every country has a regent. The regent is responsible for the tutelage of all Tremere in the domain, all other Tremere in the domain. While the regent may not teach them personally, she must ensure all Tremere are being educated. The regent's other duties extend to the clan's protection in the domain, and sometimes its representation on the Primogen Council. You are Lamar, correct? I have to say, you're lucky the ward outside the building is only there for notifications tonight. Otherwise, it would have been quite unpleasant. To answer your question, Agathon is here, but he's hard at work and I wouldn't want to disturb him. Am I to understand this is a social visit? Wait, how do you know who I am? Well, for one thing, knowing who's who in this city is one of my duties as High Regent. But more importantly, you've been on the mind of many a kindred since Langley took you in. It's quite a precedent, as I'm sure you know, at first under Prince Panhard, and for Sophie to be the one to do it, curiouser and curiouser. Still, I'm sure you haven't come here to look for dirt on your sire. That would be unwise. Sophie suggested I should meet Agathon. She said he's quite knowledgeable. Did she now? Aisling looks you up and down. Her countenance seems unchanged, but you can tell she's judging what you said. That's new. Suddenly a man enters from a side room, probably from a door. He doesn't even look at you, but lost in his own thoughts. He looks more like a werewolf to me. I mean, I don't know what voice to give him. Hello, welcome. What voice should I give him? I have it, Aisling. I thought I know. No, I think I know how to find it. He catches himself as he notices you. His face turns sour. A visitor? Yes, we were just discussing you, in fact. Is that so? I'm looking for allies in this city. I was wondering if you'd consider teaming up. Teaming up? He seems very confused by the notion. What for? Let's do that one. I could assist you in your work. I can be quite helpful, knowing I can count on some, Wait, what? I could assist you in your work. I can be quite helpful, knowing I can count on someone to return the favor. That is a horrible line. Also, I was thinking he was saying something else. But yeah, that's stupid. Is that right? He seems to consider it, then turns to Aisling. High Regent, may I ask your advice on this? She looks you over as if judging your worth. It takes her just long enough to make you feel uncomfortable. When she takes her eyes off you, she addresses Agathon. Do you feel like you need assistance in your task, my child? I'm confident I can do it on my own. He pauses, hesitating for a second. But I do believe it is important enough to warrant outside help, even if only for a single night. Another brief moment of hesitation. Of course, the details will remain between you and I, sire. Agreed, on all points. Why don't you start by giving our intern here a brief explanation of what it is you're after? Agathon gives Aisling a hesitant look, but the woman nods approvingly. Encouraged, he turns towards you. A member of our clan disappeared without a trace a handful of nights ago. Oh, I kind of remember what this is all about. I remember the later stuff in his side quest, but I don't remember the initial stuff. While the High Regent investigates if any foul play was involved, I have been tasked with recovering her research notes. If there is anything left to recover, that is. Oh, shoot, the research notes. Oh, yeah, that. Oh, I remember. Okay, it's coming back to me. Sorry, folks. I may have an idea of where to start looking, and I suppose this is where you come in. If you truly wish to help, I could use your assistance tonight. Right now, in fact. Given the time we've just wasted on idle chatter, I should leave immediately. I don't know if this is going to be bad. And the missing Kindred, who is she? A single glance at Aisling is enough. You can tell you're not getting an answer, at least not for now. We're after her research. That's what you should focus on. I would have done the first one, but I wasn't sure. These people aren't in the habit of making things simple. Facing layers upon layers of secrecy, you can only hope that what lies beneath is the real deal. I'm heading out. Are you coming or not? Sure, I'll join you. Oh, sure, I'll join you. Very well. He gives Aisling a slight bow. High Regent, with your permission. She nods. Before you go, however, Lamar, defer to Agathon in all things. Our clan values obedience above everything else. Prove you can follow, and this might turn into a mutually beneficial relationship. I will await his return and his report. Good luck, my child. Agathon bows again and heads out, urging you to follow. The High Regent watches you leave. Outside, Agathon leads you to his car. It's almost funny seeing him get behind a wheel. Somehow you'd expect a more mystical means of transportation. Why? Just because he's a warlock, vampire, doesn't mean whatever. Look at those eyes. You drive south, heading to the lower east side. Agathon seems lost in thought. Either that or he's a very careful driver. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. I'm curious, like, how old he's supposed to be, because it's hard for me to tell, because he looks so disheveled. So I don't know if he's supposed to look like when he died, quote unquote, or when he was embraced. If he's supposed to be in his 20s, 30s, 40s, I cannot tell. I'm going to remain quiet. You decide not to disturb his thoughts, and are surprised that it's him who breaks the silence as you're about halfway over the East River. Let me ask you something. Why me? There's likely a couple hundred of us kindred in New York. Yet you seek me out specifically. Why? Let's do the top one. For one, Sophie spoke highly of you. She gave me a short list of people to meet. You were on it. I see. Once more he grows silent. You're unsure whether to continue prying, as your driver seems to disappear into his thoughts. You drive into Williamsburg and stop by a fancy-looking building. We're here. There's a restaurant on the top floor. You wanted to help, so here's your chance. I need you to get us inside the VIP lobby. I was going to say lounge. Once we're in, I need about half an hour of focus and some space. It'll be up to you to keep attention away from the room. Can you do it? He doesn't wait for an answer and points to the front door. Go ahead. I'm right behind you. The two of you take the elevator up to the restaurant. The door opens and you see that there are only a few guests left, sitting at their tables. An important-looking staff member approaches you. Good evening. I'm very sorry, but the restaurant is closing for the night. I can make a reservation for next week if you wish. No, I think we can get in now. We're special clients, if you know what I mean. I don't think I do. Apologies, but it's company policy. No exceptions. Would you like to make a reservation? Presents. Hey, it's all good. We can come in. We'll be in the VIP lobby. It won't take long. The man blinks. A confused smile appears on his face. Oh, yes, of course. Not a problem. Please, come right in. You walk in, trying to look casual, and make your way towards the VIP lobby. You step inside and close the door behind you. It's a nice place, very highbrow, lots of old, expensive-looking furniture, and private rooms to discuss any sordid business one discusses when you're that rich. Your companion looks at you with something akin to admiration, or at least that's how you chose to interpret the slight change in his usual somber facade. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's not the voice I gave him. Not bad. Not bad at all. Whatever, I can't. He inspects the room. It's unusually cold, and Agathon soon discovers why. Looking behind the curtain, a window hangs open. The handle and knock look like they've been dissolved, as if with acid. God damn it, Juno. Whoever Juno is, it looks like she's no longer here. A flash of fury. I knew I was going to say furry. I don't know why. Furry is 2 R's. Fury is 1 R. Fury sounds so much incredible. It sounds so incredible. So much raw power and... And of course, then I say furry because... Why is that the first word that comes out of Dark's mouth? I don't know. Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell, because that doesn't make any sense, because you wouldn't be telling, because you don't know. I certainly don't know. It's just where my mind goes. A flash of fury sparks in his eyes. Yeah, no kidding. He takes a frantic look around the room. This changes things. Keep an eye on the door. I need some time. Half an hour, at the very least. Nobody disturbs me. Understand? He hastily pushes a couch and some potted plants out of the way, moves a bar stool, and takes out a curved knife. Cutting into his own arm, he lets some of his blood drip onto the wooden floor. It's pretty fucked up the way his flesh oozes the deep red, thick vitae. In life, you'd have found it stomach churning, but right now you feel really turned on by the sight. What follows is more disturbing yet. Well, yeah, in the TTRPG, you would have to make a hunger roll because of it being vitae. Well, it depends upon how hungry you are. Because, yes, vampires will even attack each other for their own blood. It's really... Yeah. Yeah, it's that type of game, folks. I don't know what I mean by that. Just turning on each other, I guess is what I mean. With one hand, he sheaths the knife and seals the wound. With the other, he smears the blood around him while muttering some weird chant. It sounds vaguely Latin, but you're pretty sure it isn't. I'm pretty sure that he probably shouldn't have this fake British accent, but he does, so yeah. It's all more than a little disconcerting. Hello, but he seems to know what he's doing. A few moments later, the circle starts, glowing faintly as thin wisps of smoke surround Agathon. He sits down in the middle, legs crossed, eyes closed. Minutes pass. Agathon's face twitches from time to time, and his head turns every now and then, as if he was looking around or listening in on a conversation. The smoke grows thicker, forming a veil around the mage. You expected something more flashy, but it's still a sight to behold. You wonder what the point of it is, but refrain from asking. It's probably best to let Agathon do his thing. For close to 30 minutes, you're left to your own devices. Then suddenly the door opens slightly and the manager leans into the room. You tense up for a minute, or nope, same difference, for a second, but he just gives you an awkward smile. Anything you need. You shoo him away before he can take a closer look at your companion, and he retreats obediently. 2 minutes later, Agathon casually gets up off the floor and walks over to the sofa. He pushes his hand in between the cracks in the upholstery and fishes something out. He then turns to you and nods. We're done here. Let's go. You make your way back to the elevator, passing the manager on your way. He gives you a slight, somewhat confused smile, but neither him nor any of his staff get in your way. Despite that, the elevator ride down feels tense, and the two of you only relax once inside Agathon's car. He starts the engine and takes a right at the Continental Army Plaza, back onto the bridge. I don't know where that is. I don't care. I'm sure people in NYC will find that amazing. You're just about to say something, but he beat you to it. That went better than I expected, all things considered. It might have been a trick of the light, but you're pretty sure you just saw a smile. I'm used to working alone, but what I'm dealing with right now might require some more assistance, and you seem capable enough. So I'm guessing you found what you came for? Sort of. Enough to continue the search at any rate. That seems to deplete his social battery for the night. You drive the rest of the way in silence. It doesn't take you long to reach the Warlock's highlight. The Warlock's hideout. Agathon waves at you absentmindedly, once again lost in his thoughts. Hopelessly so. One of these nights you should probably take him up on his offer. Who knows, if you gain his trust, maybe you can actually break through his stoic facade and meet the man underneath. And then you can do, I believe, what... Okay, never mind, you can only do one. We're gonna rest. You notice something strange by the front door of your haven. A letter's been slipped under the door in a cream-colored, old-fashioned envelope. There's no name on it, but you know it's meant for you. Opening the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like this. The note is short and terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. Oh, this motherfucker. Sorry. Which is funny because he's in both of the games, and he's a little bit different in the second one. You're cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance. That sounds exactly like the manager. Whatever, I don't care. Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me closer to God. There's no other information, and looks like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night. I don't want to do it. Juno, the notes, you find the mystery of Agathon's research tantalizing enough to pay him a visit. Faith and Myth, Part 1. You've received an invitation to meet a mysterious someone at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I don't want to talk with him right now. That's weird. When I push up, it goes to Hope and skips D'Angelo. I don't understand. That's weird. Oh, what? Huh. Pushing down doesn't do anything, but if I push right, I go back up there. Let's continue. Shoot, I didn't read it. I'm so sorry. Well, hopefully you read it, people. or if you're watching later on YouTube, rewatch it. It's about notes or something, so I apologize. I should have read it, but I wasn't thinking. Yes, I'm already tired, folks. I know it's only 6:29 p.m. KST, but I'm tired. You know what to expect when you return to the small bookstore serving as Agathon's haven. The cacophony of occult imagery assaults you from the book covers displayed on the window, but under the fake facade there's something real. This time, the Buddhas and the satanic Bibles of the storefront seem almost funny, or perhaps you're just started to turn into the dry humor of the Tremere. Just as you're about to ring the doorbell, the door opens and Agathon storms out. You step aside just in time to avoid having him stumble into you. Lamar, what are you doing here? Hey, don't be a dick, window shopping. Came to help. Look, I came to help you, like last time. Okay, fine. You're right. Follow me. As he turns to go, Agathon almost looks pleased that you're here. Agathon walks to his car with you in tow. It didn't occur to you last time, but it's a surprisingly pedestrian vehicle. An aging mid-sized family sedan. You imagine what it would look like with a baby seat in the back. Actually, you do find out his cultural background, like his nationality, ethnicity, or whatever. There is something in these quests of his that does come up. I think I kind of remember offhand. But yeah, anywho. Opening the door on the driver's side, Agathon notices your look. Laugh all you want, but it's inconspicuous and practical. Also, the fake British voice I'm attempting to give him does not match his background. I'm just doing it because, woo, why not? You sit in the car and Agathon starts driving in his usual careful style. At least you'll never be stopped by traffic cops. It seems Agathon is not interested in small talk. Decide that it's best to let Agathon drive in peace. Agathon is very comfortable driving in silence. You look out the window, wondering at the ordinary lives of the people you pass by. Suddenly, Agathon snaps you out of your reverie. Let me ask you something, Lamar. Do you enjoy the hunt? I'm gonna say no. No, I just can't get over the fact that I used to be one of these people. The prey, a short time ago. Even if it feels good in the moment, in the long run it doesn't. I know how that feels. Many kindred are suspicious of the Tremere, but I believe that we are on the verge of discovering something that would be a great boon to our kind. For a second, Agathon sounds so sincere, and you take a look at him to make sure he isn't joking. Doesn't seem so. You exit Manhattan over the Brooklyn Bridge and soon reach the site of the nightclub that seems to be your destination. It's on the riverfront, a converted former warehouse. Shoot, you know what I just realized is that I haven't actually hunted, even though we talked about how I don't care for it. I don't know how many times you can use your power before you need to suck someone off. And hello! As I say those lines when someone comes in, lovely. After Agathon parks the car, it's time for you to enter the nightclub. You glance at the Tremere, evaluating him. It's obvious that it's not his kind of place. It's not your kind of place, not exactly, but you've probably been here and just forgotten it. Really? For a bunch of perennial penniless archetypes, your friends were always good at trawling through every gutter in search of a high. Lovely. There's a good chance the research notes are here. Oh, let's go then. Let's not waste any time. Excellent. There's a line into the club. It looks like a popular spot, even if, based on the crowd, this is not exactly a place for supermodels and celebrities. Man. You walk up to the man at the door and smile. Hey, you remember me, right? Mind if we go in? The bouncer looks at you, taken in by your supernatural charisma. It doesn't matter whether he really remembers you or not. Sure, go right in. Have a great night. You walk into the club, ignoring all the people standing in line. Oh no! No! There's blood on the side of the screen! The music beats down on you, bringing with it memories of a human existence. That music is odd. I like the motions of the people like jumping and moving their hands. The first time you were dancing with friends, when you flirted with someone on the dance floor. This time it's different. You're a predator and everyone around you is prey. Tightly packed, twitching sacks of blood and tissue. You sense the emotions all around you. Blood tainted with happiness, lust, rage, jealousy, love. A buffet of sensations. Focus. Keep an eye out for trouble while I look for what we came to find. You nod and follow Agathon through the throng, trying to ignore all the warmth, flesh, and circulating blood around you. No. I want to, but no. Eyes on the prize. You came here to help Agathon, and that's what you'll do. Agathon wades through the dancing people with purpose, but you have no idea how he is searching for the missing research notes. It's called blood magic, motherfucker. Anyway, perhaps he's using the enhanced senses of a vampire or some esoteric sorcery. At least he seems to know what he's doing. Juno. You swear to avoid a drunken man who was just about to spill beer onto you and try to see what Agathon is looking at. What the asshole. A young woman, intense, purposeful, a little out of place at the nightclub, just like you and Agathon. Let me guess, she's after your research notes too. They're not my research notes, but yes. The woman, Juno, elbows a drunken man out of her way and points a finger at Agathon's face. Sure, let's do it. Agathon, you traitor! Don't you dare stand between me and what's mine. I'm bad with voices, and anyway, you look at the woman in surprise. Her appearance stands in contrast with the anger in her words. Juno, you know Aisling will not let you leave with the notes. Perhaps she won't let you leave at all. Juno pulls close to Agathon's face and stage whispers loudly enough for you to hear her over the music. You're still so brainwashed that you care about what Aisling fucking Sturbridge wants. I'm done jumping through her hoops. I don't know what I saw on you, Agathon. You're such a lapdog. What do you mean brainwashed? Are you brainwashed, Agathon? Agathon looks around the dimly lit crowd, clearly too exasperated for words. That's what they do in the pyramid. Recruit us into loyal little soldiers for the Council of Seven, but no more. Oh no, it's a pyramid scheme, everyone. Okay, the Council of Seven. The 7 eldest and highest ranking active members of Clan Tremere's pyramid. The pyramid. The traditional hierarchy of blood bonds reaching from the top to the bottom of the pyramid used to define the Tremere, but after the fall of Vienna, their blood has recoiled and aborted all such connections. As such, it can no longer blood bond other kindred. Without the rigid structure ordering their clan into rank and value, some warlocks find themselves competing for anything that might allow them to regain some of their former power. Yeah, they can't. Wait. Well, that was due to some other things, but yeah. I was thinking of an LA by Night episode. Okay. It's not the same thing as brainwashing. I work with Aisling out of my free will. Are you seriously telling me that Iceling asked your permission before she turned you into a fucking vampire? Agathon winces visibly at the word vampire. Fortunately, the loud beat of the music drowns out Juno's voice. That would make her unique among her kind. They sure as fuck didn't ask me. Well, that was horrible. Voice acting, Dark. Actually, many vampires embrace only after asking for permission. This is so like you, Agathon. You just can't let anything go without making one of your little corrections. Juno, please. Juno steps back, suddenly cold. Ignoring the people dancing all around, she stares hard at Agathon. The past is past. The traditions are dead to me. You won't stop me, Agathon. I'll make sure of that here and now. You know I have the power. No, Juno, please. Agathon sounds panicked. He's not worried about his own survival, but of the possibility that Juno is going to unleash a genuine masquerade breach. I'm gonna have to suck someone off after this. Calling on the powers of your blood, you step close to Juno between her and Agathon. Agathon was being an asshole. Don't hurt yourself just to get back at him. He's not worth it. Juno looks you in the eye, and you can see that she's tired and scared. Defecting from the Tremere is not easy or safe. You're right. She turns to go and then stops and glances back at you. You should pick better friends. With that, Juno walks through the oblivious dancers toward the exit. I think I tried reasoning with her one time and that didn't go out well. I don't think I sucker punched her or whatever. Looking around, you realize Agathon didn't stay to witness your exchange with Juno. Instead, he worked his way around the dancing crowd, looking for the notes using his arcane methods. After Juno is gone, he returns shaking his head. The notes were here, but not anymore. It's possible someone grabbed them when they hunted here. After making sure Juno is nowhere to be seen, you and Agathon push your way back outside. Outside, you walk to Agathon's car and drive back over the Brooklyn Bridge to Manhattan, heading for Agathon's haven. Juno mentioned some very personal things. I trust your discretion in not discussing those things with Iceling. I won't lie. Of course. Your love life is your business. Thank you. After a while, you reach Agathon's haven, and he parks the car. You walk to the occult bookstore, and Agathon invites you inside. The smell of incense assaults you as before, making you grateful you don't have to breathe. You follow Agathon upstairs to find Iceling Sturbridge in an armchair reading an old book. She puts a bookmark in place as you come in. You were successful, I hope? No, I'm sorry. The notes were there at some point, but not anymore. That's a shame. I hope you don't run out of time. How did Sophie's little protege do? Agathon turns to look at you. Well, surprisingly well. I didn't realize there was a period there, not a comma. That's a surprise. I have to compliment Sophie on her choice. We met Juno. Fortunately, she couldn't find the notes either. That's interesting. The High Regent turns to look at you. Don't look at me! Don't make me speak the truth! What was your impression of Juno, fledgling? Angry. She was very angry. I don't know what you people did to her, but she's pissed. Okay, I don't like that. Maybe driven. Shit, she was driven. What we did? Careful now, fledgling. She made her own choices, bad as they were. Anyway, I have some things to discuss with Agathon. Run along now. You leave the occult bookstore, the cheesy music, mystical music still in your ears as you walk away. If it comes back up. Excuse me. Dang it, ginger ale tonic 0. Sorry, let me read it in Hanguka, in Korean. Ginger ale tonic. Oh, okay, 0's in English. It's not, but it would be Jero. 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 I actually cannot say the characters in Korean. I don't know the names of them offhand. It's funny. So, like, I'm gonna miss that. When I write Korean, I write a character incorrect, and then my students will try to correct me. And I'm like, I don't know the names of the characters in Korean. I'm sorry. But that, like, they will try to correct you, and I'm just like, I can't. I don't know him. Oddly enough, I think I only heard it like one time in my Korean classes, and then none of the other Korean teachers I had in classes ever taught about the characters again. It's like, yeah, I just learned how to pronunciate them, not what the names are. Which is hilarious because there's less characters than in the Romanized alphabet. But anyway. You learn about what happened with Juno. Why is she so anxious to leave her clan? Can she really do that? Could you leave Sophie's service if you wanted to? No, not in this, because this game is a VN and it won't allow you to do that. I don't think you can, actually. Oh, I can do another one. I kind of want to suck someone off, but... fine. No, fine. I'll chat with him. You haven't been to a church since you became a vampire, or kindred, as the euphemism goes. You've had to focus on concrete, practical things like survival and feeding. You know, that stuff. You've learned the essentials of the vampire experience, but you don't really have a clear idea of what it all means. The Cathedral of St. John the Divine is a New York landmark. You've been inside once before when you were much younger. You marveled at its Gothic facade. Looking at it now from across the street, it feels ominous. The purpose of an anonymous invitation to a secret meeting is a worrying one, but the venue is well chosen. It's hard to imagine a violent attack in a place like this, with eyes everywhere. You enter the cathedral discreetly. You've quickly learned this is an essential skill for a vampire, how to move without anyone noticing you. The full force of the cathedral's architecture hits you as you walk between the pews. If the architect means to create the feeling of being small in the face of God's glory, mission accomplished. Based on the note, you're assuming that whoever you're meeting is somewhere in the front. As you step closer to the high altar, it feels as if something is dragging at your feet, as if the stone beneath you resisted your movement. Crisis moment. Sure, let's say a character had some religion in him. It's been a long time since you've prayed. You wonder whether God listens to creatures like you. Fatalistically, you take a step, then another. You're not sure if your God is present in this cathedral, but perhaps it doesn't matter. What you feel is real enough. There's an old man sitting in the front. You see only the back of his head, bowed down in silent prayer. Your footsteps echo on the floor, and he turns to look at you. You can't take your eyes off him. He's tall, dignified, white hair balding, a few strands escaping to the sides. He's wearing glasses and simple clerical clothing. His eyes are warm and pale, too kind for someone like you. Something is wrong. You feel heavy, as if a giant hand was pressing you down. The skin on your face is burning. Perhaps unconsciously, you expected something like this, as a vampire walking into a cathedral. Only it's not the building or God making you feel like you're burning alive. It's the man, the priest. Welcome, my child. The priest's tone is kind, but the rising panic inside is telling you that kindness is not for the likes of you. He's not like like a majority of those priests in Swan song, I can tell you that much for dang sure. Did I push it last time? Let's try it. The only way to understand those painful feelings is to push forward and confront the priest. As you step closer to the priest, panic rises inside you. The emotions are hard to control: fear, anger, pain, all trying to wrestle you in different directions, away. Can I help you? Are you alright? Are you okay? The priest talks to you like he would a lost vagrant who has chosen to enter the house of God. Do the last one. I'm sorry, Father. I'm so sorry. It's alright. Do you wish to pray? It's simply too much. You mutter something incoherent in reply. You don't sound like a vampire, an undead being made powerful by immortal blood. You're just another sad, confused, lost soul. You turn around and stagger away, only feeling like yourself once you're back on the street outside. You stand on the sidewalk confused and scared. No enemies seem to be attacking you. The priest didn't follow you. The night air is wet with the smells of the city, the same as every night. How did it feel? You look at the man speaking to you. He's well dressed, a little archaic. Dark hair, handsome, like a character from an old movie. He smiles as if he knows something you don't. You glance around. There are people on the street. You don't appear to be in immediate danger. Here's the last one. Why does it hurt so much? That's the question I wanted to talk to you about. Let me introduce myself. My name is Benoit Segal. We share many things in common, even if you don't know me. Benoit offers his hand to you. You shake hands. I want to do it, but my... Fuck it. Benoit is a vampire, that much is clear. He was using his blood to simulate the functions of a living body, but the rhythm of his heartbeat reveals its artificial nature. Damn it, game! Stop doing that with the blood. I know, I need to suck someone off, badly. Would you mind sitting with me for a moment? Benoit points to a park bench nearby, in darkness because of a broken streetlight. Wary, you decide to follow him. Only an enemy totally unconcerned with the masquerade would attack you here. Benoit sits down and you follow suit. For a moment you both contemplate the cathedral in silence. I know how it feels, what you just felt. I have experienced it myself many times. For a moment you consider how to respond. It's clear Benoit sent the invitation to come here and orchestrated this little setup. You try to give me a kill. I feel like punching you. What's the point? Why did you go to the trouble of getting me here? We share a connection, you and I. I'll explain it later, but right now the important thing is that it's so much easier to show than to tell. I wanted you to meet Father Anthony, or see him, experience him. Did you wonder why I felt like that? Because he's a priest. At first I thought it was because I was in a church, but then I realized it came from him, the priest. I think you're right. It does come from him. It's his faith that makes you feel like that. He's safe in his belief with you, while you are one of the damned. Do you ever wonder what's the role of a vampire in God's creation? You stop to think. Of course you've wondered what this is all about, whether it's about God or nature. You don't really know what being a vampire means. That's the trouble with the Masquerade. A human faced with a human problem can go online and find something that helps. You can't. Or talk with someone. But anyway. The Masquerade means that everything there is to know about your condition is secret. hidden away. Well, actually, that's not really true. There are some certain, like, online, like, types of net services for vampires provided by the Nosferatu, but we won't go into that. I don't know if that was up and running in most connected parts of the world at this time in this game, for what part of the universe, or time period in this universe. But anyway, you've left relying on the unreliable opinions of people like Benoit. Suddenly Benoit takes your hand and presses it against his chest. Oh, you move fast, Benoit. As he stares into your eyes, you feel his heart stop. My heart no longer beats, yet I move. I talk. Is that how God intended us to be? Well, I don't believe in the supernatural. There's a natural explanation for all of this. We just don't know that, and we just don't know it. Maybe there is. I don't know either. But I know that Father Anthony's faith is real. Sometimes I'm skeptical too. But in Father Anthony's presence, I know faith is real. I know it because it hurts so much. It's so good. Come on, baby. It hurts so good. Except it's not love, but sometimes faith just burns across into my face. But it hurts so good. Da-na-na-na. Okay. I know it because, but people, you have questions, but perhaps you have questions about faith in our kind. Yes, what are we? There is the usual story, which most of us believed, especially before modern times. Cain was the first murderer. As punishment, God cursed him to walk in darkness and carry his mark. I will just say that he sounds a little bit more religious fanatical in this one, but maybe that's just how he sounds. But in the second game that he appears in, he sounds totally different. He also has a different portrait, which I was just like, dude, I guess he had a coming of realization because of like the protagonist in this game or something. I don't know. But yeah. Especially before Manjak. Cain was the first murderer. As punishment, God cursed him to walk in darkness and carry his mark. Cain passed on his curse as he drank the blood of the living, and thus we were born. God's curse passed on to someone new with each embrace. Maybe it's true. We all have our lineages, our sires, and the sires of our sires. If you trace those lineages all the way to the top, you find Cain, the original vampire. Except, that's not how the story goes with the Tremere, though. That's the thing that bothers me. With the Tremere, we read it. They were warlocks based off of a guy who wanted to find immortality through magic. There wasn't an indication that Cain or someone else drank his blood, that warlock. So it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And he mass-produced other people in the cult. So I'm confused. I suppose God is cruel. The curse perpetrates itself, leading to new evils. Let's say this one. This is a lot to take in. All these myths. Hard to know what to believe. I know it's overwhelming. It was for me when I first met Father Anthony. I know there are others like him, whose faith shines like a beacon. Priests, old ladies, children. Anyone can have that conviction inside them. I don't like any of these answers. I have to go. I can't concentrate when I know the priest is still inside. Benoit nods patiently. Let's meet again in a few nights here at the cathedral. We can talk more about after you've thought it through. Yeah, I forget if there's 2 or 3 with Benoit. You do learn some interesting side lore about a character through him, but yeah, that's about it. You leave Benoit sitting in the shadow of the cathedral, contemplating what lies within. It would be easier to ignore his words without the reality of what you experienced. Father Anthony was holy. You know it to be true, but what does that mean? It means I need to suck someone off before I die, or go crazy. Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment. Let's see. Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you. Any idea what she needs me for? I'm not in the position to ask. He smiles politely. The car's waiting, shall we? You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave, disappear, let Sophie find somebody else to employ? But then you remember the Anarch thug being cut down by Kadir, and how close you were to the same fate not even a week ago. And that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked onto one of the paintings in the room. You're pretty sure it was here earlier, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance that soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory. Her driver leaves and she turns her attention to you. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Why am I so tired? I mean, I know why I'm so tired, but I mean, there are multiple reasons. I'm not thin. I'm older. Well, I mean, I'm not old, but I'm older. I feel like once you get beyond your 20s, let's say maybe 28, your body changes. maybe if you're fit, it doesn't change as much, but if you're not in shape, it changes a lot past 28. Excuse me. It's rainy, and because of the rain and the heat, humidity, or whatever mixing, it's not great. Not a great time sleeping. Yeah. Oh, and of course, I'm also moving in a month back to the USA. That's an ordeal in itself, and of course, job searching. So that's 6 things I listed, right? Yeah. So that's why I'm tired, folks. Yeah. Oh, haha, and it's going to, the next 3 days will be grade contesting period for students. So there's that too. Anyway, I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances, but I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Lamar. Thank you for coming. The change in mood of the room is so sudden and startling, it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language, it all feels 100% genuine and expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. She points to the statue at the side of the room. You notice a plain-looking flash drive lying on the edge where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal. The man you're looking for calls himself Kaiser, not Kaiser. Why do I think Kaiser? What the fudge? Kaiser. He has eyes and ears over New York, and it's rare for something to happen here. without his knowledge. I need you to take this flash drive and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible. You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you. Oh, don't worry about the contents. They are encrypted, precaution for if the data falls into the wrong hands. But it won't, correct? She gives you a smile that, just a handful of nights ago, would make you feel like melting. Oh, and Lamar, Kaiser is a Nosferatu, that twisted, deformed lineage of Kindred. He is old, and his age has made him even more paranoid than others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. From what I've gathered, he or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You have to identify them somehow. I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep an eye out for it. That smile again, but much shorter. Anything more you can tell me about Kaiser? He's been here a long time, about as long as I have. He got into a lot of trouble for exchanging information with both the Anarchs and the Camarilla in the past, but ultimately got off scot-free. Kaiser's web of information proved to be strong enough to shield him from the consequences of playing both sides. Some say that's the best proof of his abilities. In any case, be careful when talking to him. He's very particular about everyone's etiquette except his own. Good night and good luck. She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to the painting, clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the flash drive and head out toward Coney Island. It takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and sounds of the Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. Okay, I don't know. Is that a highway? I don't know. There are plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out. When do we actually wake up? We wake up after nightfall, right? I think that's when we wake up. Okay. There are plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out, it would be kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach. Okay, I can't use my. I can't use that. I'm going to search for signs, Kaiser. There are plenty of nooks and crannies to investigate around here, but if Kaiser frequents this area, there has to be some kind of clue to grab on to, right? You spend a good hour snooping around, eyes peeled for the black limo Sophie mentioned, or any sign that a Nosferatu or any vampire has their haven around these parts. Zilch. Any annoyed, you turn back around toward the lights of the amusement park, only to find a man standing in your way. Wearing an oversized jacket, he had the air of a junkie or dealer about him. Who knows what he's got in those pockets? You lost? Maybe. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's it to you? What kind of answer is that? You a spook? A fed? He looks at you intently, like he's trying to guess your real purpose here. Get out of here before I kick your ass. Sure, man, whatever you say. Just tell me if you know a guy named Kaiser, and I'll be on my way. Nah, don't know who that is. He's a terrible liar, clearly full of shit. I can't do that. The beast isn't in me because I'm not that crazy. Intimidate him into contacting Kaiser. Listen, man, I need you to contact your boss, and I need you to do it now. Quit wasting my time, or things will get unpleasant real soon. He doesn't take that well. He reaches into his pocket, produces a gun, you rush and bang. The bullet... Fuck you, buddy! The bullet hits you in the arm and goes out the other side. It hurts, but what would be a debilitating wound for a mortal is just a nasty scratch for you. It takes a bit of brawling. The man's stronger than you'd expect, but using your powers, you're able to overcome him. With a few hits in the jaw, the man passes out from the pain. Can I suck him off? Searching him, you find a fancy phone that doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. I really want to suck him off. The phone's locked, but a recent smudge on the screen gives you a rough idea of what the combination might be. You get it right on the second try. There's just one number in the phone book, unlabeled. You dial it and hear someone pick up. The voice is like a rusty pitchfork scraping against gravel. Jackie, you're messing up my snuff session here. It better be something big. Hi, I have something for you from Sophie Langley. Care to come pick it up? Silence. Not even a sound. The call ends. You try calling again, but the number is blocked. Nothing to do but wait to see if he shows up. Now 15 minutes pass before a black limo stops near where you're waiting. One door opens an invitation. The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, the kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it currently has none of that. Instead, there are monitors and consoles. If I remember correctly, if it's this guy, he's quite rude to Lamar and Amanda, but he's not as rude to Eric. Care to have any guesses as to why, folks? I believe it's him. I don't think it's anyone else. I'm pretty sure it's him. Anywho, there are dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movie. Oh yeah, it's tweets. What did they say? X's? X marks? What do they call it now? Is it still tweets? I have no idea. I never use Twitter /X /X tweetx or whatever the fuck. I don't use that crap, so meh. Silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. That's a snuff film. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything while surrounded by all of this visual noise and then realize there's nobody there. Or is there? A man blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates regal presence. You're 100% sure it's Kaiser. Surrounded by dimly lit computer screens, not scenes, his features are even more ghastly than you imagined. All sharp angles of twisted bone, mangled flesh, and crooked teeth. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. Suddenly somebody grabs you from behind, twists your arm, and pushes your head against the car's roof. I got them, boss! I have them! Nosferatu chuckles. Oh, congratulations, dickweed. Could have done that before you gave away the fucking phone. Just let them go already. But you're going to make me repeat myself, you thick motherfucker? Hey, let's go. You take a look at him. The man is confused and clearly hurting. He flashes you an angry stare but obeys his boss's orders to the letter. What, are you waiting for a formal invitation? Get in the car. We have some talking to do. The door closes behind you. So Langley, huh? I'm guessing you've got something for me then? You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. Why am I reluctant to do that? He plugs it into a USB port on the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happen to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data. Who do you people think I am? I saw this footage a week ago. He removes the flash drive and throws it back at you in disgust. Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants her address. She can give me something else. I can't do any of that. Man, I really need to suck someone off. Both are not good. This one because I'm using vampiric powers. This one because I'm demanding against him. But we're gonna do this one. You take on the most persuasive voice and amicable stance you can in what basically constitutes the lair of a megalomaniacal monster. Come on, man, don't send me back empty-handed. Take the data and honor the deal. It'd mean a lot to me. The sound of the Nosferatu produces is supposed to be laughter, you think. You're pretty sure he'll fall over and die at any second if it's anything other than that. Oh no, my screen's flashing. Ooh, look at me, I'm so pretty and well-spoken. I'm gonna feed you this bullshit and you're gonna cram it in and ask for seconds. Who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I should do to you for trying to pull that trick on me? I should mutilate your face and rub sulfur into the wounds. Rip your tongue out and use it to stuff a fucking turkey. Only see, I'm in a gracious mood tonight. Plus I hate turkeys. They disgust me. So I'm going to give you a chance to make this little transgression up to me. I'll contact you. Maybe I'll even throw in that stupid address so Langley can shove it up her cunt. But right now, unless you want me to get really pissed off, you'll show yourself out. You're pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slid past you, and soon the limo's on its way. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. Oh, God damn it! The hunger calls to you. A face on the night streets of New York City catches your eye. You cannot look away. You were supposed to be doing something else, but what that was exactly doesn't matter now. Sheer beauty. A person to die for. You follow them. Get close enough to almost smell them. Almost taste them. Yes, they must taste like heaven. You could ask them to share. Or you could just take their blood. They wouldn't say no, right? Why would they? You are their biggest admirer. So what if people are looking? So what if the whole world learns what you are? It's worth it. You compose yourself, your rational mind fearing a blatant breach of the Masquerade's temporary hold over the beast and its compulsions. It won't last unless you feed. You need to quench this hunger before your passion forces you over the edge. No! I need a drink, someone! Miabula. I know that's what we not pronounce right. One more visit to the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, and to Agathon, who's starting to be surrounded by a smell of danger. Also, I need to suck someone off badly. One of these nights, you'll have to buy something. You reflect as you ring the doorbell of the occult bookstore that serves as Agathon's haven. Perhaps something about auras or the tarot. The same sleep-deprived blonde woman you saw on your first visit opens the door for you. Each kindred has their own servants, and Agathon seems to go for the tired Wiccan mom type. Oh, it's you. Come in. The woman disappears into the back room even as you close the door behind you. Lacking any better directions, you make your way up the stairs. At first you thought the chanting was part of the ritual soundtrack that plays in the shop even at night. As you reach the second floor, you realize it's Agathon's voice. You came up just in time to see him standing in the middle of his ritual paraphernalia, with his wrists cut open over a wrought iron stand holding a blood-red stone. As Agathon chants, blood drips from the wound in his wrist into the stone. It looks as if it's absorbed into it. It's probably not a good idea to interrupt blood rituals, so you wait in silence as Agathon finishes. A few minutes later, he opens his eyes and smiles ruefully. I've done so many of these rituals. I hope it's not too off-putting for you. Hello and welcome. Agathon smears a bit of his own blood over the wound, and you see it closed. It looks like he does this so often, he barely pays attention to it anymore. I thought all vampires were blood fetishists. Unavoidably. We don't all advertise it, though. Agathon picks up the blood-red stone from its stand. This is a bloodstone. Could be useful. He doesn't seem inclined to elaborate. Anyway, let's go. I need blood, Agathon! Can we pull over and attack someone? I don't know. He pockets the stone and leads you back down the stairs and outside to his car. Soon you're on your way to Queens and Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. I don't know where the... Wait, this place again? I thought it was called someplace else. The Flushing Park place. And to parking the car, you follow Agathon on foot as he leads you deeper into the park. Coming to a New York park in the middle of the night might have worried you when you were alive, but now it's normal. If someone tries to mug you, it just means you'll have an opportunity to feed. Yeah, I need that! Agathon walks with purpose. Someone mug me, please! Gosh, I would never say that out loud. In real life. With purpose, as if he knows exactly where to go. You see the Unisphere, a giant metal sculpture of Earth, lit up so park girls can appreciate it at night. You're not sure how Agathon picks his ritual spot, but he must have a purpose in mind. The sculpture stands in the background, giving his preparations added dramatic weight. Oh god, Agathon, I really need to suck someone off. Stand watch while I perform a ritual. It will reveal whether the notes we seek are here. I'll lose control of the incantation if you fail to keep me free of distractions. God damn it! It doesn't look like there are many people around. You settle in for a boring half hour while Agathon mumbles and makes strange gestures, spilling drops of his blood at regular intervals. From the outside, the ritual is not particularly flashy. Agathon repeats a mantra under his breath and walks with measured steps until he stops and turns around, walking back. It looks as if there's an invisible structure he must follow. Unseen patterns and limits governing his movements. As choreographies go, it doesn't look particularly difficult to learn, but you suspect there are hidden dimensions of skill and understanding involved. A lone drunken woman walks towards you. Hard to say what she's doing at the park. She's a little older, white, dressed like a suburban divorcee. Why am I always sucking off drunk people? What's your friend doing? He's kinda hot. The woman's words are slurred by alcohol, but she seems to have decided that you are this evening's entertainment. Hey you, stop being weird and talk to me. The woman seems determined to walk past you towards Agathon. This looks like just the kind of interruption that he was worried about. Fading opportunity, drink from the woman. Agathon is deeply immersed in his ritual, so why not use the time you have constructively? You walk up to the woman from behind, grab her by the shoulders, and sink your fingers into her throat. Blood tinged with alcohol and horniness flows into your mouth as the woman moans from the sudden pleasure of the kiss. Oh, I need to sit down. Just as you let the wounds close, the woman collapses onto the ground, swaying, trying to sit up. Suddenly, you hear a scream of rage. Startled, you turn around just in time to see Agathon running at the woman on the ground, his expression contorted with hatred. Did the woman make enough noise to interfere with the ritual? That doesn't explain why he's in such a rage. Intervene. Step between Agathon and the woman, lift your hands up in an attempt to calm him down. What are you doing? This is not you, Agathon. Agathon looks at you wild-eyed. For a second, you're sure he'll attack you. You see him tensing for a punch. Suddenly, he snaps out of it, shaking his head, looking at the terrified drunken woman in disgust and embarrassment. Thank you. I'm so sorry you had to see that. I don't usually lose control. You look worried. Did something happen with the ritual? Not with the ritual. One of my wards was triggered. We have to go now. Oh, I know where that is. Really? You know, I'm supposed to be able to take a lot of hunger off when I suck someone off. I mean, granted, you don't, it's not completely unless you kill the person, which I don't think this game allows you to do. But, come on now, folks. I should be back to normal hunger status. Agathon starts running towards his car, and you do your best to follow. Usually, Agathon drives more carefully than most humans you know, but now something is different. He's speeding, honking at every car that gets in your way. You're driving towards the Bronx, and twice Agathon almost collides with another car. He's clearly not used to driving quickly, but something is overriding his usual caution. You screech to a stop in front of a red-tile apartment building. Agathon jumps out of the car and starts running, leaving you to take the keys from the ignition and close the doors. Agathon disappears up the stairs and you follow his agitated shouting. Abula, it's me, Javi. You get to the 5th floor landing after a run that would have left your mortal self winded to find Agathon banging on an apartment door and fiddling with his keyring. A few of the neighbors poke their heads out into the hallway, but nobody intervenes. Agathon finds the right keys and slams the door open, running inside. You follow, entering what looks like the home of an old Mexican lady. There are portraits on the mantelpiece and a crucifix on the wall. And how is the crucifix not hurting us? I just thought about that. But anyway, the apartment smells musty with old age, and you detect a faint odor of vampiric blood. Sylvia, where are you? You come to the living room to find a body covered by a blanket in the corner of a sofa. The television is on, but the sound is off. It looks like a Spanish language channel. Agathon tears at the blanket, pulling it away in a panic. He reveals an old woman waking up in bleary-eyed confusion. Javi, why are you barging in like this? Who's your friend? You're alive, Abula. Agathon hugs the old lady and then turns to you. Okay, I need to look up what's Abula. And I'm probably not even pronouncing that correctly. Is that grandma in Spanish? I don't really know. My Spanish is more limited than my Korean. Abula, not Abdul. You know, okay. How do you pronounce this? Okay, and then it shows it in Spanish. Madre del Padre. So, grandmother on father's side, maybe. Grandmother, grandparent, grandmother, grandma. Sounds like from mother. It looks like from mother's side. Or father's side, but grandmother. Okay, it's grandma. The fudge, you call your grandmother by her first name? What the fudge, mate? And then Agathon hugs the old lady and then turns to you. You have to introduce yourself. I'll check the words. Something triggered them, and I'll have to see if they still work. Sylvia snuggles deeper into her blankets. This is vampire business, isn't it? Always when there is trouble, it's the vampires. You stare at her, startled. Clearly the masquerade hasn't held in this household. You know, I've never done Be Honest. Yes, Agathon is worried someone wants to hurt you. Anyway, I'm Lamar. You must be his grandmother. Nobody wants to hurt me. Don't be silly. He's always worrying, that boy. This is about the girl who came to visit. I can tell. Javi was never good at keeping secrets. So much like his mother. You hear Agathon rummaging around the small apartment. Almost... Okay, so... That might not be grandma. It might just be grandmother general. I don't really know, because that dictionary looked like... Because I can't read Spanish, but I know what madre and padre mean. Look like on the father's side, but maybe they're just using it in general. You hear Agathon running around the small apartment, almost as if he's scratching at something on the walls. Unless... No, because she wouldn't say... Would she say mother, or would she say... Would she say daughter-in-law? I don't really know. Well, I don't know. Could be father. And just saying mother for his mom. Yeah. Not her daughter. He's always doing that, writing on the walls with blood, making ruins. I tell him to cover them with the photos and the paintings, but he won't listen. I have to do it myself. That explains the faint smell of vampire blood in the apartment. Otherwise, how can I invite friends for tea? They'll ask questions if I have ruins all over my walls. It doesn't look like a Christian home anymore. The girl who was here, what did she talk about? She wanted to know what Javi was like as a child. I told her he was an adorable child, always so dutiful. She was a vampire too, I expect. You're not a vampire too, are you? Or you're not a vampire too, are you? Surprised by the suggestion, Sylvia laughs uproariously, mirth convulsing her aged frame. Oh no, please, don't say things like that. I'm an old woman. Laughing hurts. Agatha returns to the living room, still agitated. Hello and welcome. She wanted to send a message. If we don't let her find the notes first, she'll hurt my Abula. He glances meaningfully at the old woman. No, she won't. She gave me a message for you, Javi. She said to think very carefully whether your clan will really protect your loved ones. Agathon stares at Sylvia, stunned and confused. She was here to tell me that. Maybe that's good. It doesn't sound like she wants to hurt you. She was a nice girl, I can tell. Oh, Abula. Lamar, let's go. This is all we can do here. You say your goodbyes, and soon you're back outside, sitting in Agathon's car, wanting to suck off another person. What a catastrophe. To think Juno was there. The words trigger when a vampire enters the perimeter, so Juno was there just as I was doing the ritual in the park. I'll take you to your haven. Agathon starts the car and begins the drive toward Manhattan. He appears agitated, emotions coursing under his stoic face. Your grandmother's a very spirited woman. She's all I have left of my family. We came here from Mexico City when my parents were still alive. The Kindred have always haunted my family. Every generation has its own tragedies. Agathon is gripping the steering wheel harder than he should, although he's back to his usual careful driving style. I'm sorry this happened to your grandmother and that you have to fear for her safety. This is what it's like for all kindred who have a mortal they love. The thing is, if you don't want to lose your battle with the beast, you should probably hold on to those relationships anyway, even when it hurts. Agathon drops you off in front of your haven. The experience leaves you with disquieting thoughts. You met Agathon's grandmother under awkward circumstances, but he clearly loves her very much. You don't know enough about the world of the Kindred to say whether that's normal or not. It seems to keep Agathon connected to the world in a way that feels alien for some of the other Kindred you've met. Perhaps there's a lesson in that. No! I want to go to... You're walking down the street towards your haven. In some other town, the sidewalks would be deserted this time of night. In NYC, there are plenty of passerby going about their business. God, I'm going to be going into small towns. Yeah, Korea, they're old. Well, okay, that's not actually true. Korea likes to claim that they're up all night, but that's not true. That's only true in big cities. In the towns, in the countryside, it's just like in the USA. People are inside late at night or early at night. Most businesses close up like in the USA, like early, like 5, 6 at the latest, maybe 7 if you're lucky. But yeah, gotta go into cities, folks, if you want to party hardy. Like it's 1999. Is it 1999 or 1989? Whatever the song is. I'm too tired to think, folks. In NYC, there are plenty of passerby going about their business. It's easy to be paranoid when you're a vampire surrounded by a crowd of humans. The Kindred have many enemies, and all those enemies have one trait in common. They're invisible, indistinguishable from normal humanity. Other vampires, hunters, all look like people. Excuse me. Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker or a Kindred thrall trailing your movements? Are the officers idly waiting in patrol car, ordinary cops, or Second Inquisition specialists looking to end undead threats? The Second Inquisition, often abbreviated as SI, a collective name among vampires for the recent coordinated efforts of intelligence agencies to combat the Kindred as if they were a terrorist threat. Few individual agents understand what they are fighting, and the intra-agency collaboration codenamed First Light places enormous import on keeping their operations secret and disguised as ordinary anti-terrorist actions. This kind of thinking leads to madness, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It's not the first time you felt like this. Following the queue of so many mortals around you, you stop at a street corner to casually survey your surroundings, as if you were trying to remember which turn to take. You look around ostensibly at street signs, but in reality to see if someone really is following you. Down the street where you came from, a crowd of young drunk men argue loudly about baseball. There's an indistinct figure standing behind them, almost impossible to notice. A woman, probably. The men unconsciously move around her as they start to walk away, still mouthing off at each other. Whatever this is, it's probably something you have to take care of. Best case, someone is tailing you. Worst case, you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately, being undead has its limitations. The sun is coming up soon, and you'll burn to a crisp if you stay on the streets. You reach your haven and settle in for the night, disconcerted by the idea that someone might know where you sleep. Yeah, I know who that is. I think they just popped up on the screen, maybe. As you wake from your slumber and emerge from your haven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner looking straight at you. It's Kaiser's lackey, whom you met recently, Jackie. He nods to you, encouraging you to approach. He still looks kind of rough after your last brawl, but the damage to his face has clearly mended. His hands are out of his pockets, though, a sign of goodwill. That's close enough. Let me guess. This is not a social visit. Kaiser sent you? Don't say his name out loud, idiot. He takes a look around just to make sure nobody's listening in on your conversation. Yeah, he sent me. I'm supposed to give you this. He produces a crumpled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you. Read it, memorize it, and give it back here. It's a letter. The paper might be just a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is exquisitely detailed and deliberate. All these old people who can write exceptionally well because they're from a bygone era. Like, the 18, 17, 1600s. Well, and they were literate also. Now that I think about it, they have to be literate. And literacy was not as high as it is now. And even now, some people would argue that it's not that high. And yeah, anywho, it reads, time to square your debt with me. Go to the wine shop at 232 Mulberry Street and ask for the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello Negro Amaro. Okay. 1821 Special Reserve DN. When they tell you they don't have it, say you are Fidela Servitore della Familia G. Those are those exact fucking words, and make sure you get the G right. You get a bottle. Just take it and leave it. Take it and leave by saying grazie. Don't ask how much it is or anything else. Just walk out. When you have it, come back to Jackie Boy here and let him know. You done? Memorize that shit and hand it over. Or hand it over. Letters, passwords. What's with all this cloak and dagger nonsense? That's how the boss likes it. Who am I to argue? I just do what he says. You're about done with that letter, or with the letter? You note the phrases and address mentioned in the letter. I guess I forgot. It just does it automatically for this part. Then hand it back to Jackie. He merely reaches for a lighter and burns the letter, putting out the ashes with his boot. So yeah, when you do what the boss asks, come back in here so I can tell you where to go next. I'll be in the alley over there. In that alley over there. So find me when you have the item. Whatever it is. I don't know. And the boss made it extra clear that I shouldn't care. So I don't. See ya. He shuffles away and leaves you to pursue the lead from the letter. Time to pay a visit to Nolita. You arrive at the address mentioned in the note. Not counting local restaurant patrons, the street is mostly empty at this time of night, but curiously the wine shop is still open. Alright, I'm gonna step out, folks. I'll be right back. telling my students that I was probably not going to be in my office Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but if I feel like I should, well, not that I should, but it would be best for me because then I can actually do cleaning and move and stuff and for my office while I'm waiting for students' comments. Actually, I meant to grab another bottled water. Not comments, but contesting, emails, whatever. And or text messaging, even though I said to do email. Korea loves their text messaging. I don't. Makes me wonder if that's changed in the USA. I hope not. I do not fit my generation. Actually, that doesn't make any sense. My generation is the one that started off with emails. Well, you could argue what's the generation above me? It isn't, well, X, technically, because I'm Generation Y. Millennial. I think it's X, right? It goes by letters. What's after Z? After this generation? Does it go back up? Does it go to AA? You know, Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm sorry. It's a bad joke. I think I've made that joke before. Stop! But yeah, I need to clean my office, so I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. I meant to flip my calendars. I need to remember to do that. But yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do tomorrow. Just go to my office. I still got to get the stupid putty off of the walls, the sticky putty or whatever you want to call it. Some of it's going to suck. It's hard to grab because it's hard, and I'm not going to be able to use my hair dryer on some of it because like some of it's really up high. Like where I have my China map, that was way up high on the wall. Ugh. I literally have to stand on. I'm just gonna have to. I clipped my fingernails today, so I'm not gonna have anything. I tried to use like an index card, but the index card is not strong enough. Maybe if I laminate an index card, maybe it'll be strong enough and it won't ruin. I can laminate an index card. I do have stuff to laminate. Like the quickly, open it up, put the paper in and close it. I can do that. That might work. And then maybe I can, like scrape it off easier. I have to remember that tip that I just thought of today. You all will remind me for tomorrow, right? You all will? Please? But yeah, I need to get that off. I'm going to have to stand on my furniture to get it off. Man, seriously, working here, it's been a ride. I will say I will probably, even based on like professors that I've had as a student, I've never seen a professor with as big of an office as I have had. There's no way. I'm just like, and honestly, I prefer not to have an office this big. It was nice, don't get me wrong, but it's too big. I don't need it. I would have been happy with half the office space. Like a lot of the offices that I see professors at like major universities, and that may be just because of what departments get whatever special treatment, which is probably true. But like they just had like a desk and bookshelves and that's it. There was like no sofa and table, coffee table and whatnot like I have. Yeah, it's crazy. Anywho, inside a small middle-aged woman with curly hair stands behind the counter in front of a wall filled with wine bottles. There's a door at the back of the room with a small table and chair occupied by a man in a black faux leather jacket with slick combed back hair. He's reading a newspaper but pauses a little but pauses as a little bell rings when you open the door. He takes a sip from a small steaming cup, then goes back to his broadsheet. Good evening. How can I help you? Oh shit. Was it be direct or tell her friend sent you? It was be direct. Yeah. I would like a bottle of the 1821 Special Reservoir Donatello Negro, please. Let me check our stock. She seems to be looking through a database on the laptop sitting on the counter. She puts on a polite smile. I'm afraid we don't have that one at the moment. Sorry. Recite the phrase straight and simple. Casually recite. Recite the phrase straight and simple. Casually recite the phrase. Recite the phrase and reassure her. Not the second one. I am a fidele servitore della familia G. Ah, in that case, let me see if we have any in the back. Wait here, please. The woman leaves the counter and goes through the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from the nearby glass. He tries to hide it, but there's no doubt he's watching you. About a minute passes. I'm just going to remain silent and wait. You remind yourself of what Kaiser wrote in the letter and keep quiet, patiently waiting for the woman to return from the back of the store. The man finishes his drink and starts doodling on the newspaper, his eyes darting to you every so often. The door to the back of the store opens and the proprietor emerges with a small, unlabeled, squat bottle of crimson liquid. She gives you an apologetic smile. Excuse me, sorry for taking so long. Turns out we did have it. She offers you the bottle and you reach out to grab it, but she retracts it. You do know what this is, don't you? Why, it's wine, of course. Damn it. You focus your blood and immediately see both of the people in the shop focus intently in on you and what you're about to say. I know exactly what this is, and I'm the right person to give it to. The woman gives you the bottle without hesitation. Grazie. Deciding you push your luck so far, you nod and exit the store and then take a brisk walk to the car. I guess I should have done that casually. God damn it! My suck off! Oh man, I'm hungry. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita and drive back to your apartment. It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but you finally get out of the car and start looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted ways just under 2 hours ago. Got the goods. I sure do. Cool. Stand by. Gotta make the call. It takes a few moments. It takes a few more steps into a narrow space between two buildings and takes out the same high-tech phone you saw him carrying last time. Hey, boss. Yeah, they have it. Where do I point them to? Okay, yeah. I'll tell them to go there right now. He puts the phone back in his pocket and turns back to you. Well, it's point. Wherever the fuck that is. Half an hour, so you better step on it. See you around. Can I just have a lick off of you, please? Please, Jackie boy. I need some blood. Let me suck you off a bit. With only a flippant salute, Jackie starts walking down the street. You make your way back to the car and drive. You have to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you're here. Willet's Point is quite a change of scenery. The place is a post-industrial dump, the nearby stadium notwithstanding. Wow. You stop your car, whatever that would, I mean, maybe people don't like that stadium, I don't know. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down the potholes, would kill your chassis. You step out into one of those gashes in the asphalt, splashing in the ankle-deep water. Kaiser's limo is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's just locking the place up. I'm sorry, bar owner, but I can't do the others. I'm hungry. This is too perfect an opportunity to not take advantage of. She's walking to her car, ready to call it a night when you sneak up on her. She's far too tired to resist your strong hold and swift bite. You can taste the caffeine in her veins much better than alcohol. Smell the cheap cigarettes in her hair, not so great. The old cooking grease in her clothes, not so great. She passes out, you assault the closing note of a long day at work. You let her down gently and feel a pang of remorse. You pick up the car keys she dropped and place her in the driver's seat. She'll find an explanation for passing out like this for sure. The bright light of a car pulling over down the road illuminate you as you close the door. That's a black limo. Kaiser's finally here, it would seem. Same as last time, the car doors open, but nobody comes out. You know the drill. This time, Kaiser is visible when you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you. So, you pulled it off without a hitch then. Give it here. You hand the bottle over to the Nosferatu. He uncorks it gently, takes a whiff, and puts the cork back in. Yeah, that's the stuff. I can see you're useful beyond your charm with the subtlety of a battering ram. Good to know. Here's Langley's precious address. He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Yeah, I'll send Jackie over if I ever need anything else from you. How about that? Time for you to get out now. He waves you out of the car. With the envelope in hand, you get out, back onto the torn asphalt and decrepit surroundings. The limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophie and bring her what she wanted. Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh, and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. He's the man from Elysium, the one with the glasses and good taste in suits. You didn't have the chance to talk to him last you saw him. Ah, Lamar, so glad to see you. Tell me, did the two of you previously meet? The man doesn't wait for an answer. He approaches you with an energetic, almost dance-like step and puts out his hand. Oh, Thomas Thomas Arturo, I've heard about you. Pleasure. Thomas is a great source of gossip and an excellent conversationalist. I also have the prince's ear, which is the primary reason dear Ms. Langley wishes to speak to me tonight. Good gossip, even coming from me, isn't nearly as valued. Sad. Sophie is taken aback by the man's direct comment, but smiles politely. The awkward atmosphere is broken again by the guest's grating laugh. I kid, of course, I kid. Well, I was about to leave anyway, so I'll leave you two to it. Good night, Sophie, Lamar, Greggy boy. Make him sound like, Yugi boy. Gosh. Yeah. Sophie's driver opens the door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave of the hand towards his host and you. The door closes. He's quite the character, isn't he? Yes, quite, but he has his uses. Thomas has clout in court and access to many juicy details on everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if his eccentricity requires some patience. Speaking of patience, you have been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for? That's the first one. Yes, I have it, but the data you offered was old news to him. I had to do another job for him before he would give me this card. She retrieves the envelope from you. I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. He's got a servant named Jackie. He was a pain to deal with. I hear all of his ghouls are like that. The apple never falls far from the tree, it would seem. Ghoul. A minion created by giving a bit of vampiric vitae to a mortal without draining them of blood first, which would create a vampire instead. True, according to this universe. She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same lettering you saw in Kaiser's note from before, but can't see the details. Her eyes widen. Yes, excellent. I need to call in some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear Charge. I will contact you soon. I need to get at least one more member in my coterie. With that, Sophie ushers you outside, and you are left to do with the rest of this night's hours as you like. I need another... I don't want her. It's a her, folks. Let's go. Let's start with Hope. I read it last time, so it's fine. Oh shoot. Well, we're gonna wrap up with this one with Hope, and I think it'll be the next night afterwards. This is interesting. It's a quiet, moody internet cafe. Half of its space serves as a comfy coffee bar these days, but behind a glass wall, it still has a space dedicated to rows of PCs. From the street, you can notice tired adults in casual clothes typing away absentmindedly, and some bored kids wasting the late hours, evening hours, on colorful online games. What do you mean by colorful? Colorful has a different meaning in my mind. But I guess these are supposed to be kids, so it's not supposed to be like bad language and stuff. I mean, if Sophie's intel is to be believed, this is where Hope has set up her haven. One of the waiters is standing outside the building, gazing out the sky with a smartphone in one hand and a vape pen in the other. You approach the man and tell him, I just say that one. I'm looking for Hope. He releases a soft chuckle. Yeah, you and me both. The man slowly takes a drag from his e-cig, sizing you up and down in silence. After a long, awkward moment, when you're ready to leave him be, he raises his voice again. Come, right this way. He heads back into the cafe and you follow his lead. When you make your way through the space with computers, no one averts their gaze from the spreadsheets, emails, Facebook profiles, or games of Fortnite. Uh-oh. It's a common sight, one you wouldn't have paid much attention to a few weeks ago, but now it seems so unnervingly quaint. Would they still be spending their time like this if they were immortal? The waiter unlocks an unassuming door at the end of the room and lets you inside. You two swiftly make your way through a labyrinth of sterile gray corridors, taking confusing twists and turns. Feels like you're traveling into a different world. You kind of are, crossing one invisible portal after another. Eventually, you reach your destination. Your guide motions you to enter a dark room with a lone source of pale light, a computer screen in the distance beckoning you to come closer. As you do, you hear the door shutting behind your back and a short chuckle echoing behind it. Is this the place? Nothing else to do but sit on a chair in front of the computer. The monitor displays a modern chat application. A cursor is blinking in the username, in the user nickname entry field in the middle of the screen, obviously expecting you to input your handle. After brief consideration, you type in. Let's put in something goofy. Maybe it's your newfound sensibilities going haywire, but this place has a barely noticeable sleazy aura. Might as well go along with it. You input porno. What? I haven't done this. I did your own name and maybe the middle one, but you input porno's collector and push the enter button. After a few seconds, the chat window opens and messages start appearing on the screen in quick succession. Hostage executioner. Oh god. Stop! 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 Hostage executioner. I'm just going to read the lines. I'm not going to read the names. You can read them yourselves. Just to be clear, I don't have a wank rag. LMAO. Oh, for sure. No, for real. I assume that's what FR stands for. LMAO was meant for Jerry OFC. Not much longer. Yeah, Jerry is the chat MVP. I mean, I've admitted it to far worse things on here. I'm not going to change my voice for the difference. God, I'm so horny. Not sure why I'd have a need to lie about this one. Oh my God, literally, OMG, literally who cares? You and me both, bozo. Wait, who is Porno's Collector? Porno's Collector? No idea. A new user, wasn't here a second before. What the hell, was anyone informed? No, no announcement. I know I wasn't at Jerry 2010. He just released. Porno's Collector, identify yourself within 2 minutes or get banned. The chat goes silent, everyone seemingly waiting for you to say something before proceeding. This must be a close-knit group. Better say something before they kick you out. I just did the first one. Looking for Hope. Is she here? Hello and welcome. Who the fuck are you? I'm not... I think I can read these after they all go through. Okay. Who the fuck are you? This was meant to be a safe channel, investigating what went wrong. How did they even get in here? Stay calm. Can you get their location, Jerry? LOL. Yeah, sure. That's our Jerry. Gonna DM it to anyone interested. Oh boy, now you're in trouble at Porno's Collector. Yeah, you're gonna regret, dumbass. Regret the day you decide to spy on us. Calm down. Fuck off. One guy brought me here. Doubtful, no. Doubtful, though, this is where I can meet Hope. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. Jerry, how are things on your end? Got the info. Nice. You wanna die, asshole? You will die. You will die. Die. LMAOing at everyone's sentencing to death. Or Porno's Collector to death. I'm literally on my way to kill you, RN. Yeah, Sergeant, from you. You're about to die. R.I.P. bitch. You're getting your throat slit right here, right now. A split second after you read the message, you feel someone's arms tightening around your neck. The violent return to reality clutches you off guard. A jolt of pain, a panic rushes through your brain, paralyzing you momentarily. You've come to the wrong chat room, motherfucker. A ridiculous whisper rings out next to your ear, and the grip under your head gets even tighter. You start struggling, but even with your newfound supernatural strength, you're having trouble breaking out. This isn't a normal human you're dealing with. Last words. I really want to do that one. Sophie sent me here. Langley? The hand holding your chin shifts its position slightly. Don't struggle, or I'll break your windpipe. Or my phone, which would end even worse for you. Sounds of a camera shuddering and light flashing. Did they just take some selfies with you? Alright, that's enough fun. I'm letting you go. We can have a talk. Don't do anything stupid, Mr. Intruder. Pretty please. The mysterious assailant loosens their grip on you and gently pushes you away. You quickly turn to take a good look at them. Let me just finish this. It's a pale blonde woman in her 20s, giving you slightly judgmental looks while rapidly tapping away at her phone screen. First, you notice her outrageous outfit, seemingly thrown together from random thrift store finds. Then you take notice of her tattoos, a sprawling tapestry of odd patterns and designs covering every visible part of her body. At first glance, it all seems aimless, but it has a consistent sense of style upon closer inspection. Her eyes focus on you for a second. Gave you a scare, huh? Sorry, that's what you get for entering a lady's heaven without her permission. And she's back to her phone. With her relatively small build, it's hard to believe you had trouble overpowering her physically. But then again, nothing is what it seems when it comes to the undead. and even compared to the vampires you've met so far, she comes off as an eccentric, curious presence. Yes, it also depends on how long they were a vampire. That's what determines their strength. I mean, probably size matters too, but it's ultimately, I would say, how long they've been a vampire. She shoots you another glance, noticing you're still cautious of her. Calm yourself, man. Don't pull anything like this anymore. It was just, feel stupid saying it out loud. A vibe check. Vibe check? What? Yeah, I got a glimpse of your vibe on the internet in a dangerous situation. I'd say I've got a pretty good idea about who you really are. I'm Hope, by the way. If you're here, you're probably heard of me, so I went ahead and skipped the pleasantries. But come to think of it, I might have skipped too many of those. Yeah, she definitely fits the description you were given by Sophie. Oh yeah, credit where it's due. You're probably not a boring person online, going by your chosen handle. Believe it or not, among bloodsuckers, that's still rare as hell. Most of them are like clueless baby boomers when it comes to internet stuff. Anyway, don't worry about the chat. It was all a game to us. No hard feelings, okay? I'll introduce you properly later. On the monitor, the chatter continues normally. Your visit is like yesterday's news, no longer relevant to anyone. But, look, if we're going to talk about you, you should have something to say too. What are you doing here? About time, she asked. Note to self, she really loves the sound of her own voice. I'm building a coterie. I'm looking for people to join my coterie. Coterie? Been there, done that, not interested, unless... She takes a closer look at you. Her eyes go wide. Wait. Sheet! Are you the new Langley plaything? Word seems to be getting around fast. Of course you are. It was obvious the second Langley got her hands on a new servant, she started building a network. Your emissions tell me that could really come in handy when... But Langley, that's a risky game. This kind of ambition attracts too much attention, piss off. But then again, fucking Kara. She seems to be having a spirited argument with herself, only parts of it audible. Is it just you, or do her facial expressions and body language change a bit between one sentence and the other? Oh, I didn't do that, fuck. Whatever, it's fine. Before you make certain it's not just your eyes playing tricks on you, she focuses half of her attention back on you. The other half, of course, is still obsessed with her smartphone. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not interested in cooperation, but before I make a decision, I need to make sure you sort of understand me, and that I sort of understand you. And since I was planning to put on a show before you came here, I propose a little game. Hope absentmindedly spins her phone in her hand, considering how to put her thoughts into words. Then she approaches a switch on the wall and flicks it. Neon lights flare up, illuminating the screen. You take a look around. The room is certainly unique. It looks like a butcher's room, repurposed to be a living space. The modern computer in front of you starkly contrasts the ominous industrial walls. Wales. At the back, there is an overwrought bed covered in velvet with meat hooks hanging above it. Atop of the bed sheet, you notice what seems to be pieces of elaborate S&M equipment and a camera. Wait a minute. You want my help? Moderate my cam show. Cam show? Your eyebrows twitch involuntarily. This is definitely not the kind of request you expected to hear tonight. She notices your confusion. Take it or leave it, buddy. You just became a kindred, but you want to become my partner in crime? Show me you can handle yourself while watching my back in my everyday environment. She's serious. The show starts in 10 minutes. If you think yourself better than this, better walk out the door right now. I won't hold a grudge. I've got better things to do. As if to prove it, she looks at something displayed on her phone and cracks a brief grin. Another reply typed down with absurd speed. Tap, 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 tap. 9 minutes. It's now or never. Show moderator. Risk of violating the masquerade? Hi. Content warnings? Oh, yes. So, do you take the job? Why the hell not? Why the hell not? Hope brightens up and her smile looks surprisingly sincere. Excellent. I promise you might find this interesting in more ways than one. Alright, give me a second. Maybe she didn't say sec. She spends a minute setting up the computer you used before, then urges you to sit down. The explanation of the moderator's functionalities is simple. It boils down to ignoring anyone who doesn't disrupt the chat, banning anyone who does, and kicking anyone who causes minor trouble. 5 minutes later, she's already online, sitting on her bed in a provocative pose. It is a sex show, isn't it? Her voice, previously hushed, rings out with full voice. How are you doing tonight, hopefuls? Oh yeah, hopefuls. Yeah. You peek at the chat. We're not worthy, queen. Fucking A. Angel. Hell yeah, time to fuck. You're tempted to try out the kick and ban prompts as soon as possible, but obviously you won't punish someone for a little dirty talk. Thank you. Today's show is quite special. Please welcome our new moderator, Pornos Collector. LMAO. Oh, who? LMAO, sorry for sentencing you to death earlier. At least the community here seems to be a bit more welcoming this time. Looks like this place has an established hazing ritual. Or maybe they and Hope came up with one specifically for you. Who knows? You decide to stay silent. Eventually people stop riffing on you and focus entirely on the star of the show. Alright, let's start this one with a bang, shall we? It begins, Queen! Oh boy, she's going to do it. So this is where the strip show starts. You raise your head, curious about what kind of performance she's going for. First, she opens her mouth and reveals her retractable fangs in front of the camera. Right off the bat, the online audience is treated to a sight of her wholly human set of teeth turning into a monstrous maw. The image is both revolting and fascinating. She raises her wrist for everyone to see and then bites. The fangs immediately turn her arm into a horrifying, gory mess. It's unclear if she used them to slash or bite, but one thing is for sure, no ordinary human could cause such damage. If an ordinary human suffered such a wound, you'd expect a geyser of blood to appear too, but it doesn't. Hope's technically a corpse, so it's impossible. She flashes a monstrous smile and starts smearing the vitae all over her hand to maximize the impact of the violent image. Then she starts drinking it up. She makes it a point to make the sight as gruesome as possible, looking like a hyena feasting on a corpse. The contrast of her behavior with her look of an Instagram model is stunning. Once she's done, she reveals her wrist to the camera for the last time. She starts making theatrical gestures with her right hand as the wound begins to mend. That also takes a rouse blood check. In the TTRPG, it can make you hungrier because of healing using the blood, the vitae. Anywho, shortly after the wound is gone, it's like a magician's trick. Her left hand looks like nothing bad ever happened to it. Here's an appetizer. First blood to kick off the show. While you're wondering what the hell is going on, Hope catches a glimpse of your bewildered face and turns into your direction. How's that for an opening? This isn't a sex show. Sex? Oh, what? Were you counting on me getting naked in front of you or something? Oh, honey, we're just met each other. If you expected a strip show, yeah, sorry to disappoint. This is more like live stream digital art. The erotic subtext is there, of course. You peek at the chat, they're going wild. She did that for free. Allow to lick your wrist clean, my fallen angel. Ah, yes. Nothing more arousing than a beautiful woman teetering on the edge of oblivion, a rose petal dancing in the eye of a violent hurricane. But eroticism is not the key here, it's vampirism. It's a new frontier, a living art installation. In the early 90s, the Japanese artists kept producing these videotapes with beautiful women committing gory harakiri. Those are an inspiration. She bares her fangs again in a devious grin. But I've no interest in auto-destruction or turning myself into a victim. This is a celebration of a body I love, not self-inflicted punishment. The audience came here to marvel at a beautiful vampire and her awe-inspiring powers. Mending wounds is just one of these powers. The people watching can pay to see more. Oh, and don't worry, the only thing the audience can see and hear are the things I allow them to. We can talk freely. Just remember to moderate the chat, will you? High risk of violating the masquerade. What a joke. She's blatantly breaching it in front of anonymous viewers. Still speechless, you turn your attention to the screen. I have to remember what the order is on this. Of who to can't ban, who to kick, what to ignore. Muy guapa. Alright, I'm feeling generous today. You planned your next tattoo yet? I'll pay for the next attraction. Looking like a pink marshmallow covered in raspberry sauce. Thirst victim, just letting you know you're based. I know. I don't know if I need to ban this person. I think I need a ban. Act like a normal human being, you freak. The ban hammer drops, accompanied by a message that's meant to serve as a warning to everyone else. Chat slows down, you hear Hope's annoyed. Nope, damn it! You want to go random terror on my chat so that everyone is afraid to post? What the fuck are you doing? Revert that ban now. She goes on to apologize for your behavior to the audience. You recline in your chair and wonder how the hell you ended up like this. Special message appears on the chat log claiming somebody has successfully sponsored the first goal of the show. Hope smiles and picks up a bag of blood from underneath. Okay, I did that too soon. Fuck. I wasn't sure. I forget. Because I have messed it up before. But not, I don't think seriously. Because I think you get one chance to F up, maybe. But if you do two, I think you probably screw it up. I know you can, and they won't join you because I did that with Tamika. By accident on one of my playthroughs. I was like, whoopsies! Let's make a retreat from a blood bank. She showcases the label to the camera for everyone to see. Drink up, drink up, drink up, drink up. Hope pours all the contents of the bag into her throat. You have no doubt it's real blood, but wonder why the viewers would be so satisfied with someone that's so easy to fake. With something that's so easy to fake. There we go. Don't worry, it pays well enough. You don't even bother to tell this is not what you're thinking about. Safe to assume she knows. So what do you know about the Kindred and the internet? Have they told you anything? When she was waiting for someone to sponsor her next vampiric feat, she decides to start a conversation. Is there a vampire internet? If you find something that looks like vampire internet, stay away. See, some of us used to experiment with our own secure networks. We tried to build our own information hubs, social networks, everything. She's still working the phone in one hand while looking for something under the bed with the other. On how many things can she concentrate at one time exactly? Well, she's Malkavian, so. Then one day the NSA got it. Turns out elders never really got the hang of proper security practices, or the sigils they used to smear on their screens didn't exactly work as advertised. Elder, a vampire who has been experienced at least 2 or more centuries of unlife. Elders are the most active participants in the jihad, the secret, self-destructive war waged between the ancient undead. Elder vampires tend to manipulate their lesser kin, using them as pawns in a terrible game, the rules of which defy comprehension. Ah, man, I hit the wrong button. Blah, 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 blah. Then, of course, all the other 3-lettered intelligence agencies in the world got the intel, and a lot of them decided bloodsuckers were the perfect new enemies for our post-9/11 times. The Second Inquisition came into being. Ever heard of it? Well, as a narration screen or text to introduce someone who's following me, yes. A lot of our kind died just because they were too present online. Right now, the remains of our old networks serve as government honeypots, kept alive to attract fledglings and hunt them down. You post a certain keyword on Twitter or Facebook, you get tagged for investigation. You fit certain patterns, you get tagged for investigation. So there's a certain thrill in becoming an online presence without attracting attention from the authorities. She stretches on the bed. I hope you are still monitoring the chat. Of course not. You're not as good at dividing your attention as she is. You correct your mistake and check the recent messages. She talking to somebody? Can't wait for the real thing to start. This 2 monitor setup rules. Call of Duty on one screen, drop dead hotness on the second screen. The only woman I don't hate. Hope, more like my favorite hoe. Okay, this is when I ban the person. This kind of nickname only suggests you get rid of them permanently. Good job. She's keeping close tabs on you. Anyway, yeah. When the Nosferatu admitted to Camarilla their network got compromised, the elders went batshit insane. Internet communications became strictly forbidden. There were executions. A lot of people who use social media to secretly contact their mortal families and lovers got offed. That goes without saying. But if you weren't careful, even the most innocent web usage could result in being punished with final death. Thanks to user Tick Steel, the next goal has just gotten successfully funded. Let's go, Vision Act. Dehumanize yourself and face the bloodshed. She raises her hand, 3 fingers up, 2 fingers up, 1 finger up. 1 finger up. Not 1 finger. Dark, stop it. The countdown ends and she immediately disappears from the screen like a ghost. You can still see her on the bed, but the live feed indicates there's nobody there. When you deeply focus on the digital image, you swear you can make out some unusual glitching where silhouette should be, but it could very well be just a placebo. You ready for this? 3, 2, 1. A flash of the camera. The instant she reappears on the screen, she takes a selfie, sticking her tongue out in a provocative manner. The chat room explodes and cheers again. She is their vampire queen. You briefly wonder about her being glued to the screen. Is this the fantasy everyone is here for? A girl showing off cheap magic tricks while lazily browsing her social media? You realize you are way out of your depths here. Meanwhile, Hope decides to continue her lecture. Those are some wild times, especially in New York. While most of them have no clue to our real nature, a lot of clandestine organizations have classified us as national threats. And since this is where the towers fell, the agencies are very much present around here, looking for easy PR victories. The last SI raid here was just a few years ago, and it was a big one. Stirred up the hornet's nest something fierce. But altogether, it's 2019. NYC is ruled by someone who got embraced before World War II, and the cam as a whole got really spooked and swore off the internet. Excuse me. Of course, they're not dumb and understand that you can't really coexist with modern kin without the internet. It's a gray zone right now, like piracy, technically frowned upon, but let the one without sin cast the first stone. The SI is a real threat, no joke. But in many senses, the darkest place is right under the candle. You take another look at the screen. We want blood. How about some bad stuff? Can you do some bad stuff? Can you show us next time? It's been a long, hard day. Please give me a shout out. Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. We can sweat and pee if we just exert ourselves really hard. Some of us can even orgasm. We can even cry, but only tears of blood. It's something I always dreamed of doing when I was 14. So romantic, and it drives me crazy. As proof of her words, a scarlet tear starts running down her face. The chat goes wild. This seems to be exactly the kind of thing they've been waiting for. Ah! Gosh. An angel that fell down from heaven. Sorry, when I see that, I think you, whatever, the Korean thing for like sad tear crying or whatever, even though there's like whatever that line is there for hopeful number one. OMG, she did it again. Beatific. Hope your tortured soul finds some calm eventually. Can you imagine USA assembling a blood-sucking squad that would just cruise by the border and suck blood out of any illegal they found? The very thought gives me the biggest boner. I think this is where I kick the person. And kick. Just to be clear, you realize what you're doing here is a blatant breach of the Masquerade, right? I honestly expected you to leave or inform somebody by now, but you haven't, have you? You try to focus on the chat. In any case, the last goal has just been funded. It's time for the great finale. This is what you've all been waiting for, right? Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Her voice has changed. She's getting closer to the camera, letting her face fill the frame of the live feed. Her mesmerizing eyes are focused purely on the viewers. You wanted blood? Come out into the streets, claw out your neighbors' throats, slash their veins, and drink up. Yes, Queen, yes, Queen, yes, Queen. Blah, blah, blah. Hope's presence becomes absolutely horrifying, and it influences the chat in some incomprehensible ways. Everyone starts typing like they are possessed. Liberate yourselves from the shackles of ordinary mortality. Make them scream. Feel the warmth of their entrails. What the hell is she doing to those people? Whatever you've gotten yourself into. Transcend your bodies. Release the message of hope into the world. She jerks violently for a second and then falls down on the bed like a marionette that had just had its strings severed. She exhales loudly a few times and laughs. When she does, the room goes dark again. Alright, that's enough. Instead of continuing, she does something with her phone. The stream ends and the chat instantly becomes dead quiet. Let me take over. The atmosphere in the room has completely changed. She's already put herself together and stood up. Now she's walking towards you. At Vulgar, what the fuck just happened? Guess the show is over. Everyone relax and go home. Aw, I was almost ready to come, bros. Hostage, I swear my father's grave one day I swear on my father's grave, one day I will find you and kick the ever-living shit out of you. After every line she delivers, she changes her voice, the way she puts her lips together, and even the way she moves. You've caught glimpses of her acting this way, but only now have you started to figure it out. But that's impossible. I'm immortal. I'm bored. I'm separated from most vampires in the city by a generational chasm. I forget how that's pronounced. Yeah, chasm. I want to say chasm, but it's chasm, right? And I'm so goddamn lonely. The internet used to be my only friend. Years ago, I started researching Topa's collective unconsciousness, all the mumbo-jumbo at the intersection of psychology and spirituality. And I decided to experiment. The show was fake. A few years later, I was an Instagram fashionista, a successful erotic model, a vital part of pop culture, commentariat, a viral shitposter, a cryptocurrency expert. All my internet cells started signal boosting each other, paving the way for new ones. I became a one-woman empire surrounded by legions of psycho fans. The chat was fake. Some may think of it as a dissociative identity disorder, but that's bullshit. Everyone has online alter egos they buried. I just resurrected them, gave birth to new ones, and let them crossbreed. The constant tapping at the phone even during the show. Somehow she is capable of impersonating an entire chat room. Yeah, it's quite impressive, but really disturbing at the same time, but it's really cool. I don't even have a self that could dissociate or be mentally ill. I'm a host, a living database. I live because I find it fun to be an information conduit, to process trends and support the ones I deem worthy. There was no masquerade violation. She was showing off her skills all along. She put you into a world of pure fiction, the same way she was testing you when she attacked you from the back. Damn, she's good at this. Oh, David. Of course, you can just ignore what I'm saying and decide I'm just another deranged Malkavian. But hey, annihilation of the self is the only way to survive in the 21st century. If there ever was an era that demanded images of beautiful people transcending beyond humanity and inspiring others to do the same, it's this one. Although for now, because of Masquerade, my audience is quite limited. Speaking of, you want to be the star of my next movie? Sure, why not? I have a hunch you're just saying that. Still, hey, in a way, this too is transcending beyond self. But yeah, your test is over. Now the question is, do I want to work with you? She puts away her phone for the first time since you've met her and gives you a good hard look. Damn it, I fucked up! Ah! When did I last save? God damn it, I saved. I screwed up too many times. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna replay this section, folks. When did I last save? Okay, so I'm gonna replay this next time and get back up to here, and because I want Hope in my party, in my coterie. So I'll do that next time. I'll try to remember, like maybe tomorrow, to play through the same things that I did, so I have the same stuff, like go with Benoit and whatnot, and get Hope. Unfortunately, I won't be able to record the lines. Or you know what I'll do? I'll get up to playing with Hope and then save it, and then we can do it on Tuesday. That's what I'll do. So I apologize, folks. We are not losing Hope. That sounds weird. So I'm going to end it here because I don't want my save to get screwed up. So sorry, folks. Made a mistake. I think it's mainly because I screwed up at the beginning there. Or not screwed up at the beginning. The name of the online handle was good. I screwed up and I kicked and I banned the person, which I didn't mean to, and I think that's what caused it. Although I might needed to have banned the last person, not kicked them out. I don't know for sure. Or it was also my choices towards the end of what I was selecting for talking with her. That could have been it too. But anywho, this has been DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage's here on PSN, and this has been a messed up playthrough of not getting the second person in my coterie of the Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. Hope you all have a very good rest of the day, night, or anywhere in between. Stay safe out there, folks, and gosh darn hope you will be in my coterie. And goodbye, folks.